Welcome to Dan's On Fandoms. I'm Dan. The most recent and awesome episode of The Bad Batch, titled Reunion, saw the return of one of my favorite characters from the Clone Wars animated series, the Duros bounty hunter, Cad Bane. At the end of episode 8, we saw Cad Bane shoot our homeboy Hunter, and then capture Omega to presumably take her back to the Kaminoans. Now that our homie Bane has reappeared in canon, could this mean that Boba Fett will also appear at some point in The Bad Batch? At this point, my friends, I think Boba Fett is almost a lock to appear in The Bad Batch, and for a few reasons. For starters, the Clone Wars animated series showed Boba working his way up through the criminal underworld as a bounty hunter, so revisiting Boba Fett during the rise of the Empire seems almost too good to pass up. Additionally, Boba Fett has appeared in several current comic series including Star Wars Bounty Hunters and War of the Bounty Hunters. Both comics take place after the events of The Empire Strikes Back, sometime between 3 to 4 ABY, which is just over 20 years after the events of The Bad Batch, as Season 1 of The Bad Batch has so far taken place in 19 BBY. If Boba were to appear in The Bad Batch, that would provide another opportunity for fans to see Boba Fett while also getting to see him in his early days as a bounty hunter as he continues his rise within the criminal underworld. Furthermore, with the new Disney Plus series The Book of Boba Fett, slated to release later this year in December, having Boba Fett appear in The Bad Batch could serve to help drum up more interest in that series. Boba has been getting a lot of time in the canon spotlight, so to speak, and I don't think it's a coincidence. Lucasfilm wants to drum up as much hype and excitement around a character that is getting a live-action miniseries, especially when you consider a boatload of money probably went into developing and producing The Book of Boba Fett. Aside from that, Boba is a clone, and since The Bad Batch is a series about clones, it stands to reason that he would appear at some point in the show. Some of the major themes that we've seen thus far in The Bad Batch are freedom and the freedom of choice and agency. We've seen these themes echoed multiple times throughout the series so far, but they're probably best exemplified in the clone's inhibitor chips, which fail to activate in Hunter, Echo, and Tech, allowing them to have the freedom of agency, whereas Crosshair and Wrecker's inhibitor chips both activated, stripping them of their agency. I say this because Boba Fett is a perfect character to echo the show's themes of freedom. He's a clone that does not follow the mold of his clone brethren, who has set out across the galaxy as a bounty hunter, living life the way he wants to without any constraints of control to limit him from doing what he wants. He's a character that would fit right into the themes that Bad Batch creator Dave Filoni and the other developers of the series have interwoven into the fabric of this first season. Lastly, and probably the most badass reason why I think we'll see Boba Fett appear in The Bad Batch, the Clone Wars creators did create unaired episodes with Cad Bane and Boba Fett, one in which the two dueled each other, resulting in the dent in Boba Fett's helmet, so getting to see Boba Fett and Cad Bane together again would be dope. During the early stages of Cad Bane's career as a bounty hunter, he was briefly mentored by fellow bounty hunter Jango Fett. At some point later on in his career, Bane sought to return the favor from Jango by serving as a mentor to Boba Fett, teaching him the ways of bounty hunting, just as Jango did for Bane. This is something I mentioned in my most recent video discussing everything we know about Cad Bane, so make sure to check that video out if you haven't. Additionally, The Bad Batch could potentially show Bane's time training Boba, and, if that were the case, could result in those two dueling. Let's say Boba Fett is with Bane after he's captured Omega from Hunter. Could Boba Fett try to help Omega, knowing that she's a clone just like him, resulting in Boba and Bane dueling each other? How freaking cool would that be? At the very least, guys, I think there's a very strong possibility that Boba Fett will appear at some point in The Bad Batch. Boba Fett appearing in The Bad Batch just seems like too much of a great opportunity to pass up. I thought that was the case before the series premiered, and now that Cad Bane has appeared, I feel like Boba is pretty much a lock at this point. I've got my fingers crossed that the infamous bounty hunter will appear in The Bad Batch, and I'll be ecstatic if/when he does. But what do you guys think? Do you think we'll see Boba Fett in The Bad Batch? Let us know down in the comments. If you like this video, please help out the channel by hitting that like button and making sure you subscribe. Follow the channel on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at Dan's On Fandoms. Thanks for watching, and stay